Mayor Abbe, good seeing you as always.
Thank you for having me.
You have seen this city really grow up, per se. Every time you sit down and you look at an operating budget, what are your priorities? What do you look for?
What's really great is our budget has continuously reflected the values of the city and the things that we think are important. And so when I look at the budget, I want to make sure that we're protecting our quality of life, that we've got money in there for the critical social services that so many of our residents need, that we have money for public safety, because that not only protects our residents, but it protects the people who visit and all of our businesses. I look to make sure we have money for our infrastructure. I think many cities, when the times get tough, they don't remember to invest. Like, you always have to repair. So the roads always have to be repaired, the trees have to be trimmed, and you can delay a little here and there, but you don't really want to delay because the cost at the end is astronomical. And as a city, I think we have been really good and vigilant about ensuring that our infrastructure is there. And I also look to see that we're always saving a little. You want to save for a rainy day, and you want to save for those big projects. And over the years, we've done that. So when the last couple of years the economy was not so good, we as a city didn't have to make cuts because we had saved money. We were frugal when we needed to be, and we were also able to embark on some amazing capital projects like our library at West Hollywood Park, which we did in maybe one of the worst economies ever because we had saved. And so those are some of the things that I look for, as well as ensuring that when we talk about quality of life is certainly about public safety. It's about housing, it's about the roads and the garbage and all of those things, but it's also about you need to have fun. And so making sure that we put money in for cultural activities, places where people can come together and, share common interests around the arts and things. I think that's very important as well.
And over the past 2 years, what are you most proud of? A project or an achievement that you look back on and you think, this has really improved the quality of life for the residents and the community?
I can't just pick one, so forget that. But so when I look back over the last couple of years, I think some of the things that certainly stand out, certainly the work that we've done at West Hollywood Park. I mean, that sources the community, it's about our government, it's about education, it's about recreation, so that's been really great. The money that we've been able to put aside for the West Hollywood Housing Corporation, and just a few weeks ago we dedicated new housing for people, some who have been formerly homeless now have a place to stay, as well as some foster youth who are probably on the streets have a place to stay. So I'm incredibly proud of that. And I'm also incredibly proud of the city investing in technology, because the reality is the more we can make city information and services accessible to people, the better chance people will utilize them. And so some of the work that we've done, especially in this last year with our technology, so you can easily find out what's being built on your street, you can easily let the city hall know what's working and not working so that we can quickly fix things. I think that too has been important and definitely improves the quality of life, as well as helps kind of the transparency of government, so people can begin to understand more and more about how it operates, and the more we can make those things accessible for folks, the better.
And why is that conversation so important with the residents in the community, and utilizing technology with things like the budget survey online and getting people's input? Why is it so important to hear what the residents have to say?
I think it's important to hear what the residents have to say because we are elected by the residents to represent them. And when you're on council and when you're a leader in a community, you rely on what you hear. You rely on your own knowledge as well. I've lived in this community for decades, and so I certainly know the community. I know what we need, but you want to hear from the people, and I think technology gives us an opportunity to hear from people who might not want to come to a meeting. Something like this budget fair that we're doing, it's just we're here from 5 to 8, so people can come. It's still daylight, but you can come after work and hear from folks in a more relaxed and not such a formal way when you come to a city council meeting. And it's important that people come, but there's a limited, you have to speak on the issue before us, you have 2 minutes, and it's a little bit more limiting, whereas you take some of those surveys or you participate via other other avenues, the pop-ups that we do, then we just get we get more information, and probably hearing from folks who might not think to come on a Monday night to a city council meeting.
And looking to the future, what are you most excited about? What projects or initiatives?
Sure. Well, as we go into the future, I think some of what's happening, not from the city, frankly, but from what private developers are doing here on the east side of town, we'll have over the next few years, you know, lots of new residents, and I think that is going to bring such a vibrancy to the street life on Santa Monica Boulevard, from like Fairfax down to La Brea, in a different way. So I'm really excited about those possibilities, as well as excited about the continued work that we do to build affordable housing, maintain the housing that we have here. I think that's incredibly exciting. And also looking at what we'll do as a city to make sure as people are aging in place, not me of course, but as people are getting older, that our community adjusts to that, and that our buildings adjust, and that our streets adjust, and that our mobility plan adjusts. I think that's really important, because I think people come to West Hollywood, and many of us want to stay here in West Hollywood. So those adjustments, I think, are really important. And I'm also really excited because I think as a city, and certainly candidly as a nation, we've begun to think about mobility very differently. So often when you think of transportation, you think of cars and buses. And now all of us think about, yes, it's cars and buses and mass transit, but it's also bikes, and it's our feet. Our feet is one of the biggest forms of transportation we have. And as a city, we're really looking at, and I know over the next decade, we'll be coming up with some really innovative ways that make it just so much more pedestrian and bike friendly, so that we're all sharing, you know, the roads, and the sidewalk is part of that road, not so much for the car on the sidewalk, but for us as people on the sidewalk. How do we make that a really good experience, so that we're really using our feet as part of our transportation system, as well as the wheels that we might have parked in the garage?
I do think that's what makes West Hollywood so special. What else are you looking forward to that will bring the technology, that will bring the transportation, and join it all together?
One of the things that I'm looking forward to, and actually I think as a city we are really well positioned. I was recently at a conference for the National League of Cities, and attending some of the sessions, and people were talking about how do you ensure that young people are going to, you know, not leave their community and go off, you know, and what do cities have to do to adjust to kind of the millennials and the generation that's coming behind them. And what's so exciting is our city is so positioned and actually already doing that. As you said, you can literally, you know, leave your house and within a few blocks you're on Santa Monica, you're up on Sunset, you're somewhere where action is happening. And that's what the new generation is looking for. You know, people want a sense of community. More and more folks are moving into the urban core because they want that sense of community. People don't want to have to drive everywhere. People want to be able to do their whatever it is, and then be able to sit at a coffee shop or sit at a library. You know, libraries across America are packed, and a lot of it is about just finding that community. So I think that our city is so we're doing it now, and we're just going to increase our capacity to do that, so that we maintain that vibrancy, and so that we have a community that's filled with everybody, you know, from older folks to younger folks to people with families. And I think what also makes us very exciting is that we're a city where we encourage everyone to be together, and you know, that it's a diverse community of people, and of people's lifestyles, and of it's a community of acceptance. And I think that that's something that people want as well, and we've been doing that for 30 years.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mayor Abbe Lamb, for joining us. Great talking to you.
Great talking to you too. Thank you.